What's good, family? It's your boy Richard Davis. I'm just scrolling through my resume, and yes, this month I'm going to be fully transparent because over the next few weeks I'll be releasing videos that catalog the skills in this resume. These videos will be a part of my portfolio, and I'll be going through each skill and show them in action through projects and labs that I do. You know, I like to think of the principle of authentication. Just as you need to prove your identity, I feel the skills on my resume are just words until I supply some context and evidence behind them, you know? So, with these videos, my goal is to kind of bring this resume to life, all right? As highlighted on my resume, I have over 11 plus years of experience in IT and which had a strong focus in identity management tasks. Most of the time I use tools like Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, and PowerShell to manage user accounts and permissions. In this first lab that I'll be doing, we'll be focusing on creating user accounts, setting up groups and assigning them to users, assigning role-based access to these groups, and finally, we'll test those accounts and accesses. Now, in a follow-up video, I'll show how to accomplish the same thing using the Microsoft Graph module for PowerShell. Don't forget to like, comment, and share if you can relate. Peace, and let's get into it. All right, so to start off, I already created a tenant in Azure. So in this section, I'm going to go ahead and create 3 accounts: an admin, a manager, and a regular user. All right, so we'll go to Entra ID portal. Go ahead and create these users real quick. Done. Create the next one. I'll create another one. There you go. You see that both are created now. So create the next one. Hit new user. Create new user. And really, it's as simple as that. There you can see all of the users are created now. It's that simple. All right, so for the next order of business, we'll go ahead and create 3 groups, which will be used later to assign roles and permissions to the 3 users. Groups give flexibility and kind of make it easier to scale this dissemination of accesses, licenses, etc. to multiple users at once instead of assigning on a case-by-case basis, it's an option too. But later we will add roles to each group to give our users varying levels of access. All right, so go to groups, all groups, new group. All right, so we're gonna click yes on this option here because it allows us to add roles to the group, which you'll see later on in the video. But if you don't click this and you create the group, you won't be able to add roles later. And you can't change it, it's immutable. So we're gonna add Alice as a member to this group, admins, click yes. All right, refresh, our admins group is there, new group, managers. I'm gonna add Bob to this group. All right. And as you can see, both groups are there. All right, so we'll create our final group, employees, add Carol. And now all of our groups are created. All right, so now that we got our groups created, we'll go ahead and assign roles to each of them. And roles in Entra ID are just basically groups of permissions that can be assigned to users or groups granting them access to specific resources and defining what they can do in those resources. For example, the global admin role, which we're going to add to our admin group, allows full unrestricted access to manage all aspects of Entra ID and Microsoft 365, right? And on the other hand, the directory reader role provides read-only access, right? So users can only view directory objects like users, groups, and applications without making any changes. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we'll type in global administrator. All right, I'm gonna click global administrator. All right, sometimes Microsoft is like slow.
One eternity later.
All right, so we're gonna click add assignments and we're gonna add admins group. Next, assignment type, I'm gonna leave it there. Eligible, click assign. All right, created that group. All right, so now we're going to do user administrator. I'm going to add that to the manager's role. Next, all right, got that. Now directory reader role. Add assignment. We're going to add employees to that role. And we got our roles. All right, so to recap, we created 3 user accounts, 3 groups, and added those users to those groups, and then assigned roles to those groups for varying levels of access, right? Alice, the admin, was added to the admins group, which has the global administrator role, which gives access to everything. I know from a security perspective, that's pretty shady, but we want to test that out and see how that works. Bob has the user administrator role, which really just gives access to create user accounts and modify users and stuff like that and more, but it won't have as much access as the admin group. And then Carol was added to the employee group, which has the directory reader role, which only gives reader access to read user objects and directory objects, so she can't make any changes. So let's get started. All right, so we'll start with Alice. And then check her if she's able to create accounts. She is. Create a test account. There it goes. Just go ahead and delete it. Check out a few more things. See if she has access to everything. She does. Groups. Roles. Now we'll do Bob. Since he has the user administrator role, we'll see if he can create users. And he can. So create another test account. And there's the test account. Delete it. He can delete users. What can't he do? Let's see. Aha. See that? Don't have access. So let's see. Alice can do it. There you go. Let's do Carol. Carol cannot create new users. doesn't have access to that. See. Yeah, that's pretty much it, yo. We see that the varying levels of access. So in the next time we meet, we'll be doing this in PowerShell. Yes, it can be done easier and quicker in PowerShell, my favorite tool.